This is April Davis with April Davis Creations, and I am an independent demonstrator in Spring Hill, Kansas. I am not on camera tonight. This is my Thursday night to-go class, only I'm recording it. And the reason I'm recording it is because I am leaving bright and early tomorrow morning. I have to leave at 3 a.m. for a Stampin' Up retreat in St. George, Utah. I'm very, very excited to go. That said, I have been crazy busy today. For those of you that have been following me, my studio has been in disarray because I'm in the process of creating a classroom across the hall. We've moved our guest bedroom upstairs, and my floor just got put in yesterday. So I've been trying to get all of the furniture that's been hanging out in our family room into the classroom so that some of our life can get back to normal. That being said, I've been working really hard. I'm hot and I'm sweaty and I just don't want you to see me. But I did want to record this class because I'm going to be gone tomorrow. And so I want to get it recorded tonight so that I can get it scheduled so you guys can see it tomorrow. So I'll still be there. I'm just going to be recording. So let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. No advertisements on other things that are going on in Stampin' Up right now. I'm just going to get straight to the cards and share with you that we're going to be utilizing the Sketched Butterflies stamp set. This is a rubber stamp set. All the stamps are right out on blocks right now, and then it's got dies to go with it. I am pairing this stamp set with the Full of Life Designer Series paper. This Designer Series paper is wild, and I've had not necessarily a difficult time utilizing it, but it's wild paper, and so I had to get like really creative in how I'm going to use it. So anyway, I've fallen in love with this paper, and I can't wait to share with you what I've done with this paper and the Sketched Butterfly dies. So let me share with you the cards that we're making tonight. This is card number 1. This is card number 2. And this is card number 3. And you can see that crazy paper that we've woven into this. So let's get started with card number 1. I'll bring that kit out and share with you what we've got. Our card base is going to be basic white cardstock. I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. We could have used this side, but this side's going to work for the card that we're making tonight. Then I've got a piece of basic black, and I've got another piece of basic white, and this basic white was cut with the Everyday Detail dies, and the Everyday Detail dies are so fun because you've got rectangles, circles, but they have all of these holes in them, so you can see holes here. And I just wanted to show you guys really quick before we actually get into this. I kind of saved it for you. This is the die that I used to cut this piece. I went ahead and did it ahead of time so it would save us some time. But as you can see, there's a lot of white cardstock left in these holes. So Stampin' Up has their take your pick tool, but it also has an attachment to it with a brush, and it comes with the brush and the foam piece. And basically all you have to do is run this brush over the top of your die, and all of those pieces fall out onto this piece of foam, and then you can just take the foam and you can tap it over your trash bin, and all of these come out. So for the most part, all of them are out. I've got a little one here and there that I'm gonna work on, but you can see my die is pretty much nice and clean now, and it was easy peasy. Don't take the time to take your pick and poke out every single one of these holes. You'll be doing it all night long. The take your pick with the brush tool on it is amazing. So I wanted to share that with you guys really quick before we got into making this card. All right, so the other thing that we're going to do is, did I have a piece of cardstock in here? Let me see, I do. I have a piece of cardstock. Actually, it's a piece of Designer Series paper. Let me pull all my stuff out. I have a piece of Designer Series paper, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece of Designer Series paper and I'm going to stamp on it. to create the butterfly. Now, what I'm gonna do with this butterfly, I don't know if you can tell, but this is just from stamping. I took my Memento black ink and I stamped it, and it just wasn't dark enough for me. So we're gonna be doing some embossing tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started first. And you can see that I use the Designer Series paper as well for my other little butterflies. Trying to get this all into the screen for you. So let's go ahead and get started with this butterfly, and I'm gonna bring it in, and we are going to use Versamark ink, and I can see that my Versamark ink is over here. So I'm gonna grab it real quick and come back to you. All right, Versamark ink, I've got my black embossing powder, and I also have, oh, there's my Versamark ink. I guess I had it over here all along. And I've got an embossing buddy. Now this embossing buddy has powder in it. And basically what you're gonna do whenever you get ready to emboss is you wanna go ahead and put this powder over your piece of cardstock or paper that you're gonna be utilizing. The reason being is there are oils in your fingers and such that could potentially cause the embossing powder to stick to it. So this helps to make it so that you don't have that sticking issue. And when you emboss your butterfly or whatever it is that you're embossing, it will come out nice and clean from the embossing powder. So let's go ahead, and I stamped at my Versamark. I'm gonna tap this off just a little bit. I'm gonna get my butterfly in here because we are gonna die cut this butterfly. So let me go ahead and get my butterfly in here. Make sure I get a good adherence of the ink to it, the embossing ink. You might be able to see a little bit of it. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we're gonna dip it into, oops, the embossing powder. So I'm just gonna take a corner of it, and I'm just gonna make sure I get good coverage. But you can see, because I used the embossing buddy, all of the embossing powder fell off of the paper. The only place that the embossing powder adhered was where the butterfly is. So let me put this off to the side and get this out of the way. And I'm gonna grab a couple more things really quickly. I've got my embossing gun here. Apologies. Let's see. I thought, oh, here we do. I've got like a little tray. Stampin' Up! Has a tray where you can do your embossing in. It comes with a tray, it comes with the embossing powder, it comes with a brush, and it also comes with a pair of tweezers. So I'm gonna move this off to the side. I'm not gonna utilize that, but I am going to use my tweezers because when I bring the heat tool in, and it's gonna get a little bit loud, but when I bring the heat tool in, that paper is gonna get hot. So give me just a second to get it heated up. And then basically you just hold the heat gun over your embossing until you see it melt. And basically you're gonna see it go shiny. And then you stop. I'm looking to see if I've missed any places. I have not missed any places. Let me turn this off so I can finish talking. I haven't missed any places, but see how shiny that had gotten? Let me show you the difference between the two. Here's the one that I stamped. Here's the one that I embossed. A lot more detail. I wanted my butterfly to be a lot darker. So I went ahead and embossed it. And now that it's all embossed, and the other thing I wanted to say when you're embossing is, don't over emboss it, because you will actually melt the embossing paper or embossing powder into the paper. You just basically want to heat it up just enough that you see it go from dull to shiny. As soon as that happens, take your heat tool off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the little mini cut and emboss and my plates, and we are going to die cut this butterfly. So I'm looking for my dies. And here's my butterfly that I'm utilizing. And let's see, do I have any extra tape that I haven't utilized? Doesn't look like it, so I'm gonna bring out some new tape. This is my mint tape that I use. This is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but you can get this online. A lot of craft stores carry it. So let me just get this lined up. The fun part about this sketched butterfly is that it's not perfect. So even if I don't get it cut exactly, it's gonna look like it was intended to be that way. So let me crank this on through. Oh, there's a piece that I could have utilized. I'll pull this off. And there we go, we've got our butterfly. Oh, so pretty. Okay, let me put this off to the side. Let me put it in my little tin and move this out of the way because we're gonna probably end up using it again. And put that off. And now let's start to assemble our card. So I'm gonna bring this all back in and we're gonna fold our cardstock. And I'm gonna grab my bone folder right here. Make sure I get this all even. I've got that. And then I'm gonna take my designer series paper and glue it down. I'm really, really excited about my trip. I have to leave the house at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. My flight starts to board at 5:10, and I'm about 45 minutes from the airport. So I want to make sure I give myself plenty of time. And then we are going to be doing some crafting. We're going to be doing some ATV touring. We're going to a musical at, I don't know the name of the theater, but it's equivalent to like the Red Rock Theater in Colorado. So we're going to be seeing Frozen at that theater. And then it's just fun time to get together with the other stampers and just make new friends and share stories and just have a good time. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Okay, my bad. I did need to stamp my sentiment. Now, normally, you know me, I would stamp my sentiment first before I adhere it. At least I remember that I needed to stamp my sentiment before I actually put it on my cardstock, or my base. So let's go ahead and get that done. We're stamping "Hope is a beautiful thing that flutters in the soul." So let me go ahead and get this all inked up. And I'm gonna get this lined up. Pardon my head if I'm getting my head in here. I wanna get it lined up right about here. There we go. All right, now let me clean off this stamp. I'm gonna see if I can use an eraser on that. I'm not quite sure what that mark is, but I'm gonna try to go ahead and get that cleaned off. It's a scuff or something. Let me see, do I have my other eraser? This is a Mono Sand eraser for inks. It basically sands off the top of the cardstock. I don't think that that's ink, but it's working. So it's lightening that up so you can't even see that mark now. I don't even know if you guys could see it. Anyway, it's all good now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this piece, now that I've got my sentiment on it, and I'm gonna take some dimensionals. Let me grab my tweezers. Are my tweezers here? Maybe not. I may end up having to use my fingers, which is fine, but I really like my tweezers. All right, so let's go ahead and get these dimensionals on. And I always put one in the middle to prevent middle sag. So we've got that, but I will take my take your pick. I packed up some tools to take with me, so I may have packed my tweezers up. So let's take these off. And then what I have been doing lately, and I'm gonna stick with it, is I put glue on the back of my dimensionals. I'm not doing it because the dimensionals aren't sticky. The dimensionals are very sticky. I'm doing it so that I have a little bit of leeway if I don't happen to get this on straight the first time. The glue on the back gives me a little bit of wiggle room. That's why I like to use the glue. And then that way, if I don't happen to get that down straight, which I did a pretty good job, I can wiggle it around a little bit. So let me wiggle a little bit more. I'm gonna call it good. I think I'm happy with that. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put dimensionals on the back of my butterfly, and we're gonna adhere the butterfly to the center of this piece of white cardstock. Whoops. And because I'm not worried about the butterfly being straight. I mean, I'm gonna try to put it on as straight as I can, but it's not like an edge straight, so I'm not really worried about it. This is why I use my taker pick. They just come off so much easier when I use my taker pick. All right, let's put those off to the side for the moment. All right, here's my butterfly. Look how pretty that is, having it embossed. I'm gonna probably bring it down just a little bit, maybe about right here. So we've got our butterfly on our card now. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I've got these little butterflies. Now these were die cut out of the dies that come with the stamp set. Let me share with you what those were. We used the solid die, and then we have the die that creates the design, the butterfly design. So basically what I did is I cut the solid out of cardstock, or excuse me, designer series paper, and I cut the butterfly design out of the cardstock, the black cardstock. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue right in the center there. I'm actually going to line this up perfectly, but I did it in the middle specifically because once it dries, I can fold the wings up and give a little bit of flight to that butterfly. So let's go ahead and do this one as well. Very good. So I am so excited about my classroom, and as soon as I get it all set up, I will definitely give you guys a tour of it. It's right across the hall from my studio, and I won't have to utilize the kitchen dining room table anymore for my classes, my in-person classes. I am looking for dark, I thought I brought my black dot, I thought I brought them over. I'm looking for my mini dimensionals in black. And the reason I wanted the mini dimensionals in black, oh, here they are. Gosh, right in front of me. The reason I wanted them is because the butterfly is basically black on top, and I just didn't want the white showing through. So I'm gonna take this little dimensional and I'm gonna put it right in the center of the butterfly. And perhaps a little of it's gonna show, but you can't tell it's showing because the butterfly is black. So let me move this out of the way. And then what I can do is I can fluff this up. I'm gonna take this backing off here, put it over here, and then I'm gonna put one of the butterflies probably right about, maybe, hold on a second, maybe here. Let me put my paper down so that we've got a little bit of flight to that butterfly. And then I'm gonna take the other one and I'm gonna put it down here in the corner. So pull the black wings up, put this little butterfly down here. Yep, I don't want it to cover up. I'm gonna move it just a little bit. Whoops, 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 whoops. I need to be a little bit more careful with that. I want to put it down in this corner so that when the wings come down, they don't block my sentiment. Oh, so here we go. This is card number 1. So easy to make, and I really do like the fact that I embossed the butterfly instead of just plain stamped it. All right, very good. Let's move on to card number 2, and let me pull it out. And we've got card number 2. This time we're using a big butterfly. Let me pull the kit out and we'll look at it. So we've got, again, a basic white card base. And then I decided, now this one I actually took Petunia Pop because it's a Petunia Pop piece of cardstock, I took Petunia Pop and I stamped little butterflies around in Petunia Pop, so it was tone on tone. That was fine, but I wanted to go a little bit different. So this time what I did is I took the same Petunia Pop, I die cut it with the deckled rectangle dies. So that's how we get this little wavy edge. I die cut it with the deckled rectangle dies, and then I embossed it with the 3D painted texture embossing folder, and it gave me a different texture, so I'm excited to use that. I've got my piece of designer series paper, it's pretty much like the other one, and then I've got a piece of basic black that we're going to stamp and emboss both the butterfly and the thinking of you. So let me pull a few of these things out. Give me just a second. My thinking of you needs to be die cut with my nested essential embossing, nested essential dies. And I'm utilizing this die right here. So I'm gonna pull it out. And then I'm also going to pull out, let's put this back. And then I'm gonna pull out the big butterfly die so that we can die cut these both at the same time. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to emboss. So same process. I'm going to take this paper, I'm gonna take my embossing buddy, which is right here, and I'm just gonna go over my paper with this embossing buddy. It will wipe off. I know you might be able to see some white powder, but it will all wipe off. So I've done that. Then I'm going to take my butterfly, and I'm also going to take the Thinking of You stamp, and we are going to get the Versamark out. And the first thing I'm gonna do is my butterfly. So let's go ahead and get that all inked up with the Versamark. And we'll get it stamped. So I'm gonna do it right about here. Just making sure I get a good transfer. And there we go. You might be able to see it. How fun is that? Let's see if we got a good light on it. All right. Anyway, now what I'm gonna do, I'll clean that off in just a second. I'm gonna do the same thing with my Thinking of You. And we'll put the Thinking of You over here. Okay, now it does look like I wiggled a little bit, and so I have a bit of embossing powder, or Versamark on my cardstock. I can see it, and so the powder is going to, or the embossing powder is going to adhere to it. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to try to show you. You might not be able to see it, but take my word for it. There's a little line there, and I don't want that little line to hold embossing powder. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm going to do my very best to try to rub that away without hopefully affecting the rest of my stamp. So let's give it a shot. If not, we'll do it again. But now, instead of the black embossing powder, I'm going to bring in the white embossing powder. And again, I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll clean those in just a second. I don't want to leave them untouched, but I want to go ahead and get the embossing powder on here first. So I've got a little tray here. I've got my little butterfly. I'm going to give it an extra coat. And then I do see where some of the embossing powder has stuck to the paper. So I want to be sure to get that off. And you can see over here the same thing. So even though I used the embossing buddy, I didn't do a very good job at it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush, and anywhere I see powder, including that one little area that I had actually gone over with, that one looks good. I'm going to go ahead and come up here and clear this up. I am going to die cut these out, so it's not going to make that big of a difference, but I'm going to set these off to the side for just a second, close up my embossing powder so I don't make a mess, and then really quickly I'm going to go ahead and clean these stamps up because I don't want the stamps sitting with the Versamark on it. All right, so let's go ahead and get these cleaned up. Looks good. Put that one off. Whoops, domino effect. When I work with my stamps, I stand them up like this. They're just easier to grab. Sometimes if I get a little carried away, one might bump into the other, and then I've got a domino effect going. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to heat emboss these. So let me bring the heat gun back in, and hopefully you can see as I do this how the white will change from this kind of dull white to a shiny white. But I have to heat this up again. And I'm just looking to see a turn. And it is starting to turn. Can you see the difference between what has turned and what hasn't? As soon as I see it turn, I pull it away because I don't want to melt the embossing powder. I'm going to get my fingers out of the way because it's getting hot. I've got just a small area right here I need to do. I'm going to double check, make sure I've got everything. You can see the difference between what has turned and what hasn't. And then I'm going to do the thinking of you. Okay, so we've got that done. I'm going to go ahead and move that off to the side. And I think maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut these two pieces apart. And then if I can't get them both to go through at the same time, not a problem. We'll run them through individually. But I'm going to go ahead and cut out my butterfly. Get this lined up. Okay. And then the thinking of you, and this will wipe away. You can see that is wiping away. You can take a damp baby wipe to it as well. All right, I've got my thinking of you. Let me see, do I have another piece of tape? I had one on my cut and emboss, I believe. So I'm gonna reuse that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these cut out and then we can start to assemble this card. I'm excited to see how it's going to look with the embossed background versus the stamped background. So we'll just run these through one at a time. It looks like that's probably gonna be our best bet. So we'll get our butterfly cut out first, crank this through. Set that off to the side, and then let's go ahead and get our thinking of you cut out. Run it through. Okay. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. Pop these out. Save my tape. We have this. I actually have a piece of what is it? A baby wipe, and I'm just gonna kind of wipe over that just to get rid of some of that powder that's still there. And then I'm also going to maybe do this. I don't think I'm gonna need to do it for the butterfly. There's not enough space on the butterfly to be able to do that. How pretty is that butterfly? Oh my goodness, I love that. All right, let's move this stuff out of the way, put the dies out so that I don't lose those. And now we'll start to assemble this card. So I'm gonna move those out of the way. I've got embossing powder on my tray. Let's go ahead and fold this in half. And let's see, get this lined up appropriately. Okay. And now I'm gonna take my Petunia Pop embossed layer and we'll go ahead and get it put down. I have fun when I'm working with these cards. I'll get one made, and you see me do this quite a bit. I'll make it, and then it's like, what can I do different to it? Or, you know, if it's just not hitting me just right, you know, as far as, not necessarily that I like it, because I like all the cards, but you know, just like there's something missing or something else needs to be done. So I will go ahead and then think about it, and the next time I go to make the card, I'll do it differently. So now I'm going to put the butterfly. Oh, I can't do that yet. I need to put this down. So now I have to decide, do I want this to be the top or do I want this to be the bottom? I think this time around, I'm going to put this on the bottom. It kind of looks like a sunrise a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this layer down. But I do like this embossed layer. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go ahead and get this centered up the way that I need it. And I also cut it out with the deckled rectangle dies. So they're both cut out of those. And then we'll take the butterfly. Oh, so pretty. Let's find the dimensionals and we'll put dimensionals on the butterfly. So I'm gonna put one behind each of the wings. I miss my tweezers. I think I actually packed them up and I'm taking them with me because we are Friday afternoon. We're doing a card class. So that'll be fun. All right, take your pick. Where are you? Let's finish this up with a take your pick. Okay, got those. All right, let's get our butterfly down. And our butterfly is gonna go right about here, I think. So pretty. And then we'll put some dimensionals down on our sentiment. One here, one here. There we go. Move these out of the way. And we'll put the sentiment up here. Thinking of you. I'm gonna hang it over the edge like so. Does it need to go up just a little bit? I think it does. Okay, very good. All right, tell me what you guys think. Do you like it better with the stamped butterflies along the edge, or do you like it with the embossed layer as well? I mean, I think they're both pretty. I tend to like this one better, but I like them both actually. So anyway, okay, card number 2. How easy was that? All right, let's bring in our third card. And this is our third card, and we've got several pieces that are going to be part of our kit. So let me pull those out of the way and I'll bring the kit in. And this time we've got yet another white card base. I've got a piece of designer series paper, and then I have a piece of the balmy blue cardstock. I have another piece of designer series paper, and then I have my butterflies. Now what I did with my butterflies this time is you can see that again they were just stamped, and then I colored them with my Stampin' Blends. So I have my Stampin' Blends again. I'm gonna bring them over, only this time I'm on a roll. I really, really liked embossing my butterflies. So what I did is I went ahead, just to save time, because I've already done some embossing and showed you, I went ahead and stamped my butterflies, got them colored, and then I'm gonna color this butterfly for you. What I wanna say about using Stampin' Blends is they're alcohol markers. And sometimes when you're using the alcohol markers, they potentially can melt your embossing, especially if you are heavy-handed. And so basically when I'm coloring with my alcohol markers, I want to do it very lightly and try to avoid just like scribbling over the embossed area. So I'm making sure that it's all colored and it's over the embossed area. But if you do too much of it, and I just say from experience, it will melt your embossing. So you can see that I'm using a light hand as I do this coloring, and it's fine. I don't want to scare you, but I just want you to be aware, because it seems like it would be much easier to color because the embossing's there and you can just color over it, but you want to make sure that you are being careful, you know, so that you're not just scrubbing over it, because it will potentially melt your embossing. But I'm not having any troubles whatsoever. I'm using my brush tip. I'm doing a lighter touch. And let me see, this was my light shaded spruce that I used. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in my light balmy blue, and I'm actually gonna continue. I like to color with the bullet tip, but because I'm trying to do this light this time, I'm using my, my brush tip instead. So I'm barely touching the paper. I'm getting just enough down to make sure I've got color on my butterfly. So let me go ahead and finish coloring this up. Butterflies are fun to color. Let me see, I think that was supposed to be green. So I'm gonna bring my green back in. I missed a little piece right here. I'm trying to, what's it called when you're trying to make it the same on each side? Shoot, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know. I think my brain is tired. I worked my full-time corporate job today, and then came downstairs and started moving furniture, and now I'm recording a card class, and it's just been a busy day for me. My brain is like ready to go on vacation. This is light blueberry bushel. This is my dark blue. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring it in. And obviously this is an area that I'm going to have to go over the embossing. But again, like I said, I'm doing it very light-handed. And then I'm just going to color in all the rest of the open areas with this marker. Get all my blueberry bushel in here, and then our butterfly will be done. All right, let's get this one over here. Butterflies are so fun, and these sketched butterflies just kind of leave room for a lot of creativity because of it being sketched. It's not so precise, which kind of makes it fun. All right, let's see. I'm just kind of filling in some white areas here. Okay, very good. All right, now that butterfly is done and colored, let's go ahead and bring out our cut and emboss one last time. Let me see, I have this die right here, so we'll go ahead and get this butterfly cut out. And then I'm gonna need to bring out a couple of more, let me see if I got that lined up, a couple of more dies that I haven't used yet this evening. So I'll pull these out. I need my sideways one, and then this is my other one. All right, so let's go ahead, get this put up. Here's another piece of tape, and I think I'm gonna need one more piece of tape so I can get these guys done. All right, so I've got that one down. Just holds my die in place, and then I'll take one more piece of tape and line this up. Oh, I got it upside down. I'm like, why isn't this working? My die was upside down. All right, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and pull our plates back out again. And I think I can probably get a couple of these to go through. I'll put this one on and this one on, and oh, this one came undone. The tape's, I think the tape's on its last leg, if I'm being honest. All right, let me see, I'm gonna give it one more chance. Put it down here, and I think I'm gonna be able to get them all through at the same time. Awesome, okay, let's crank this through. All right, oop, domino effect. My plate went out quite a ways, and I have 3, 6, 9 sets of stamps here. I also need to stamp my sentiment. I don't know that I pulled that piece of cardstock out. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna put this die over here so we don't lose it. Got this butterfly now is cut out. And then this die over here. And this last one, pull these plates over here. Oh, so pretty. These butterflies, oh my goodness. I'm loving this set. All right, let's see. I should have in my envelope, I do. I have a piece of balmy blue, and I also have a piece of basic white, and on that basic white, I'm going to stamp "You Brighten So Many of My Days." And I'm actually going to use my Misty Moonlight to stamp this, so to go in line with the blues of the card. So again, I'm going to pull it up a little bit closer so that I can see what I'm doing. And if I get my head in the way, I'm so sorry. But I need to be able to see over the card so that I can make sure this is straight. All right, we're going to go right here. There we go. You brighten my days. Let me close this up and we'll clean off this stamp. Whoop. Did I get my ink hand in it? Okay, set that off to the side. I think I did, but got my handy dandy wipe here just to kind of help me out if I did. All right, move this out of the way. Basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this sentiment and I'm going to line it up edge to edge with my balmy blue. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then we will start building this card. All right, so let's get this on here, like so. Scooch it around. Is scooch a word? I don't know. Maybe. I think I've heard it before. Scooch. I don't know. It works though. You know what I mean, right? When I say scooch. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, let's go ahead. I've got my designer series paper, and I'm gonna decide, do I want it to go up? No, I want it to be down. I want it to be down. All right, so let's go ahead and get some glue on it. All right, we'll get it lined up. Line things up, move it around. Got a little bit of wiggle room with my glue. Then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it to the balmy blue cardstock. And then I think what I'm going to do, I didn't do it on the last card or my example card, but I want to take this layer and I want to pop it up because I feel like it kind of got lost a little bit. And I'll show you again what I mean here in just a second. Let me get this. Oh my goodness, it's not wanting to scooch. I'm having issues with it lining up. I'm trying to get it off before it dries too much. Otherwise I'll have to get out my magic potion. Yeah, this was not doing well at all. I'm gonna put a little bit more glue on it. I'm not too worried about the little crease that I saw because I've got butterflies going over the top of it. But you can see that because I did pull it up, it was tearing my cardstock. But you're not gonna see it because it's gonna be covered with the paper. But for whatever reason, this is just not centering the way that I want it to center. And it's a user error. I can tell you that right now. It is a user error. But I'm having a tough time. I'm not very good at getting things centered anyway. That's why I use glue. But this paper is being really challenging tonight. So I think we've got it about as good as it's going to be. Plus now my fingers are all nice and sticky. So we'll go ahead and wipe those off. Good enough. But basically what I wanted to show you is that in the original card, I felt like that balmy blue layer just got hidden. It just disappeared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this one and pop it up. And I think that will give then a little bit more life to this layer so it doesn't disappear. So we'll go ahead and put our dimensionals on. And of course, I'm going to use glue again on the back of these dimensionals because I've already shown you tonight that I'm having a little bit of an issue with getting things lined up. And it's okay. I own it, but some nights are better than others, and it's just, did I get that off? Nope, I didn't think so. I thought I did, but I didn't. My fingers are really, really sticky. All the rest of them are off. Okay, let me get this. So those of you that don't like using glue because your fingers get sticky, I totally get it. I totally understand. But again, I like having that flexibility to move things around though as well. All right, I like that already much, much better. Okay, actually I got that centered pretty darn good. Let me look at it again. Pretty darn good. All right, I'm gonna push this down. So already you can see a difference in the two. That layer just now pops a bit. All right, let me see if I can get some of this glue off my fingers so that I can work with my butterflies and my sentiment. All right, my sentiment is going to go side to side, and it's gonna line up with the balmy blue that I've already got. So let me go ahead and we're just gonna lay it flat. And then we're gonna add our butterflies. So let me pull this, put this down, get it lined up. Oh, I'm so glad I popped up that layer. It just makes such a big difference. All right, we've got that. Now what I'm gonna start to do is put dimensionals on the backs of all these butterflies. And we are going to pop them up as we put them down. All right, so we got the big one. Oops, we got the little one. I've got glue everywhere. Glue everywhere. Okay, and then this one. We're gonna put one on this side and one on this side. All right, now let's get the backs off. Sticky. Oops. This one's not coming off. There we go. I'm gonna clean this off. Put these in the bin. Clean this one off. All right, we're ready to go. Let's start placing our butterflies. So I'm gonna put this one up here in the corner. Oh, I can't wait to show this to you guys. I'm loving this already. Embossing these butterflies was a great idea. A great, great idea. So let me put this one right about here. And then I'll take this one and I'm gonna put it here. Okay, so this card is done. Look at the difference in the butterflies. Can you see the difference? I mean, the black just pops. I don't know. I mean, I can see it clearly here. I don't know how well on camera you can see it, but I'm loving that. So card number 3, I'm gonna bring the other cards back in. This was card number 2 with the embossed layer instead of the stamped layer. And then this is card number 1 that we did with the embossed butterfly. Whoops, bring them down so you guys can see. This is a to-go class. All of the information for the to-go class is on my website, aprildaviscreations.com. Basically, you place an order in my online store, a minimum order before tax and shipping, and then I will send you the kit to make all 3 cards, 2 of each card. The only thing you need to make sure that you've got is the sketched butterflies, or maybe you've got another butterfly set that you would like to utilize. It doesn't have to be this particular set. You might have something else that you want to use. But I'll provide you with the cardstock, the designer series paper, and anything that is not part of this stamp set will be included as well. So for example, you know, the labels that you have, you will be responsible for doing your own embossing and everything because I can't stamp for you, but it's all the information is out on my website. So thank you for joining me tonight. I'm sorry I'm not on camera. It's been a busy night and I was doing a lot of moving before I decided to record, so I'm just not presentable tonight. But I'll be back next Thursday night and I'm excited to share with you my trip to St. George with all the other Stampin' Up! People that are going on this retreat. So thank you again for being here tonight, and I will catch you guys next week. Take care. Bye.